श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम ओम अखंडानंदसंबोधः वंदनात् यस्य जायते गोविंदं तमहं वंदे चिदानंदतनुं गुरुम्. Yesterday we were seeing what is akhandavrti and what is akhandakaravritti. We should not get confused that akhandavrti is akhandakaravritti. Akhandavrti is a practice and akhandakaravritti is the result. Okay, so since there is a confusion in the similarity in the name, there may be a confusion. So we should be very clear. Akhandavritti is practice and akhandakaravritti is the result. Akhandavritti is repeated and akhandakaravritti is once. Akhandavritti is repeated because akhandakaravritti with respect to akhandakaravritti. What is akhandakaravritti? Akhandakaravritti takes place once because swapara nivartya. Akhandakaravritti removes itself and others, the other thought functions. It doesn't leave any thought function. We will see why it is later. Okay, now this is the difference. We should not get confused that akhandavritti is akhandakaravritti because it is getting repeated. I am self and self I am. That is akhandakaravritti. That kind of thought function is akhandakaravritti. What happens because of that? You are not going to gain the immediate knowledge directly through that. It is a sadhana. I am self. That is a sadhana. But that doesn't bring you the some satori kind of a experience, sudden experience. No, nothing can happen. Why? Because by this akhandavritti, what you gain is a focus. I am self and there is nothing other than me. Therefore, how can I be attracted to these things which is non-self, which is not real? So that clarity you gain, that viveka and vairagya is what you gain. Okay, so then after explaining about that, the disciple asked him 5 questions. The guru 5 questions. What are the questions? The first question, okay, is this listening itself, śravana itself is enough or should we do something else? That's the first question. Second question is, what is samadhi? Third question, how many types of samadhis are there? Fourth question, what is the means to gain the samadhi? Fifth question, what are the obstacles for this samadhi? So these 5 questions were raised by the disciple. So the guru answers him, śrīguruḥ. mukhyagauṇādibhedena vidyante'trādhikāriṇaḥ teṣāṃ prajñānusāreṇa vṛttirudeṣyati. mukhyagauṇādibhedena vidyante'trādhikāriṇaḥ teṣāṃ prajñānusāreṇa vṛttirudeṣyati. Mukhya, primary, atra, here, in this subject which you are asking here, with reference to the seeker's qualification. mukhyagauṇādibhedena, mukhya, primary, gauna, secondary, adi, etc. bhedena, differences. Like there are primary seekers, there are secondary seekers, there are non-seekers. But why do you have to say include non-seekers in that? See, we are not including non-seekers. In the secondary seekers itself, there can be gradations. Some may be good at something, some may be not good at something. Right? So there may be gradations of them. So mukhyagauṇādibhedena. There are primary seekers and there are secondary seekers. Okay? Now, adhyāropāpavādakramamanusaratā vidyante. Adhyāropāpavādakramamanusaratā mukhyagauṇādibhedena vidyante. There are these adhyāris, these seekers of truth, seekers of knowledge are seen here. Okay? Now, teṣāṃ, among them, for them, prajñānusāreṇa, according to their intellect. Remember this, prajñā, knowledge, according to their intellect. Akhandavritti, the akhandavritti takes place. Wait. Prajñānusāreṇa, according to their intellect. That is what is the pure translation for that word. But you don't have to be intelligent to understand this. Why? They have seen the people who destroyed others using bombs and poison are learned, intelligent people. And people who are illiterates, they saving others. That does not mean illiterates are good people and intelligent people are. It can be both ways. So here we are not talking about the intelligent people. We are talking about people with pure heart, chitta shuddhi. According to their focus, according to their purity, they will gain the akhanda vritti. What is the qualification for him? Who is the primary seeker you are talking about? So he says, śraddhābhaktipuraḥsareṇa vihitenaiveśvaraṃ karmaṇā santoṣyārjitatatprasādamahimā janmāntareṣveva nityānityavivekatīvraviratinyāsādibhiḥ sādhanai ryuktaḥ śravaṇe satāmabhimato mukhyādhikāri dvijaḥ śraddhābhaktipuraḥsareṇa vihitenaiveśvaraṃ karmaṇā santoṣyārjitatatprasādamahimā janmāntareṣveva nityānityavivekatīvraviratinyāsādibhiḥ sādhanai ryuktaḥ śravaṇe satāmabhimato mukhyādhikāri dvijaḥ. Listen to this. One who is śraddhābhaktipuraḥsareṇa, endowed with, puraḥsareṇa means endowed with what? Shraddha bhakti. Shraddha surrender. Bhakti devotion. Why? Wait. We already said surrender. Then what is this devotion for? See, there are two stages. One, the disciple who says, I'll listen to whatever he says. I have come here only for knowledge, not for doing all this. That fellow is not really qualified. And the person who thinks, I've come to serve the Guru, not for the knowledge, that fellow is also not eligible. So a person should be ready to listen to him and serve him, both mental and physical, both kind of service, right? So that is why he says that in Bhagavad Gita, shushrushaya sevaya, Bhagavan says a person, one who performs the service to the Guru, only to that person, upadekshantire jnanam jnaniyastattvadarshanah, the knowledgeable people will impart their knowledge. So you have to be ready for listening, ready to listen to him and also serve him. Okay? śraddhābhaktipuraḥsareṇa. Then, vihitena karmaṇā eva īśvaram santoṣya. Vihitena karmaṇā. Vihitena karmaṇā means the prescribed karmas alone. Only through the prescribed karmas, īśvaram santoṣya. You propitiate, you make the happy, you make the Ishvara happy. Making Ishvara happy by performing the karmas prescribed, that are prescribed to you. Wait. Prescribed karmas means not the prohibited karmas. That is what is the idea. Nityānityavivekatīvraviratinyāsādibhiḥ karmas. There are daily, there are occasional routines. You have to perform them. And you have to also perform these prajñānusāreṇākhaṇḍā karma. Okay, you have to also perform the prajñānusāreṇākhaṇḍā karma, the repentance karma. So only these karmas you are eligible for. By performing them, you have to make the Ishvara, please the Ishvara. Ishvaram santoṣya, you have to please the Ishvara. How do I please the Ishvara? Performing these mere karmas is good enough. If you have the qualification, you perform the Vedic karmas. If you are not qualified, then you perform the japa, etc., sadhanas which your Guru prescribed. By doing that, how do I please him? How do I make him happy? You don't have to do anything. Just performing that itself will make him happy. That is why in the sandhyavana, etc., karmas, when you perform the karmas, we do a thing called sankalpa. Sankalpa means we present our intention before. So that intention is said verbally. It is said. How do we say this? Mama upata samasta dvijaḥ dvara Shri Parameshwara vṛttirudeṣyati, etc., etc. Okay. Mama upata, mama, mine, upata, accomplished, gained, whatever I have earned, I have collected. Durita sins, whatever sins I have collected in different births, kshayadwara, by negating them, parameshwara prityartham, for pleasing the Parameshwara, I am doing this karma. That is the intention we do. Okay. So performing the karmas itself, we don't have to do this. So what is that? What is that? You don't have to be worrying about that. Performing that japadi karma itself does that. That is the activity. We don't prescribe any intention to any activity. So in the karmas, since there is no result set for nityānandādvitīyaṃ karmas, there are no results prescribed. Since there is no result, some people will say, "Oh, lazy fellows, they are like these drunkards. Drunkards need a reason, happy reason, sad reason. I am drinking. Why? I am happy. I am drinking. Why? I am sad. So they need some reason. That's all. Similarly, these lazy fellows, they need some reason for not performing. They'll say, "Oh, there is no result performing then. So why should I perform?" They won't perform. So because of this, some people in the Farashruti, not in the Vedic thing, some people prescribe this. Oh, if you perform them, this Nitya Karmas, you will gain the result of Ashwamedha Yaga, the highest Yaga, Ashwamedha Yaga. Right? You will gain that kind of result. These lazy fellows say, "Oh, I don't want any result, so I don't want to perform." You don't say result, they will not perform. You say result, they will not perform. That is not what is. You have to perform the prescribed karmas. By performing them, what happens? You please the Ishvara. So what? Śrīguruḥ, you gain the grace of, blessing of that Ishvara. Prasade sati sarva dukkhopajayate. If you gain the prasada, then all these sorrows, all the griefs, they are all removed. Now, prasadamahimā, gaining that grace, one who has gained that grace because of its greatness, mahima, because of its greatness, one who has that greatness, janmāntareṣveva, in the past births itself, janmāntareṣveva, in the previous births itself, nityānityavivekatīvraviratinyāsādibhiḥ, one who has gained the discrimination of what is eternal and what is non-eternal, tīvra virati, complete dispassion, nyāsādibhiḥ, and nyāsa, etc. Nyāsa means sannyasa. Sannyasa means uparati. So uparati, etc. means samadhi shakka sampati, and we are talking about moksha. Because who is going to do all this if he is not interested in moksha? So that kind of person. Dvijaḥ, śravaṇe mukhyādhikāri. So let us forget the dvijaḥ. śravaṇe mukhyādhikāri. That person is the qualified person, mukhyādhikāri, primary qualified person for śravana, for listening. We left one word, śrava, dvijaḥ. So that is a key word here. Dvija means dvijanma, one who is twice born. Twice born means Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. And among them, primarily the Brahmins are targeted here. A person who is a Brahmin by birth, he is the primary seeker here. Hey, Brahmins. So people who don't understand the Vedic system, Vedic Vedantic system, they will find some defect here. For people who follow the Vedic system, we don't have any defect. Because when we say Brahmana, that doesn't mean we are putting off the other people. We are letting off the other people. No. He is given the primary position, the post. Others, it doesn't mean they are not eligible. They are also eligible. This fellow is basically by birth he is eligible. How? Because we accept, we said janmāntareṣveva in the past births itself. So we accept rebirths. So rebirth means we Buddhist, Jainas, we accept rebirths, but there are differences in that. So they are offshoots. So the Buddhist and Jainist philosophy are all offshoots of Vedic philosophy. So there are some changes there. That's all. So in the Vedic philosophy, in the Vedic teaching, the birth is according to your karma, your past karma. You are born a Brahmin now does not mean you will be born a Brahmin later in the next birth, or you were born a Brahmin in the past birth. There is no need necessary for that. You probably were a dog, or you will probably become a dog in the next birth if your karmas are not good. There is no guarantee that you will be born only a human or a Brahmin. The Jainas, whereas they accept if you are born in a Brahmin family or the Jaina family, you are going to be born only in Jaina family, and there is only growth up, higher up. There is no coming down. That is not what we accept. We accept the gradation. There is possibility of, according to your karma, there can be possibility depromotion, there can be promotion. So when we discussed about the births, we already discussed when you have punya in abundance and little papa, then you are born as a Brahmin. So naturally he has the qualification, eligibility. Punya means chitta shuddhi, right? So Brahmin. When the punya reduces and the papa increases, he becomes Kshatriya. When the papa increases and the punya decreases, then he becomes Vaishya. When the punya is greater and the papa is lesser, when the papa is greater and the punya is lesser, he becomes a Shudra and others. So it is because of this, the past birth, you are born in this kind of situation. Ananda, you were that dog, I was that Brahmin. Ananda, you were that elephant, I was this. Ananda, you were that elephant and I was this Mahot, etc. Different births. He was a Brahmin once, he was a Kshatriya once, he was a dog once, he was a Shudra once, everything. And Ananda also was born in different births. So that is the thing. You can be born according to your karmas. Does that mean that people who are Brahmins are not eligible? We don't say that. We don't prescribe to that idea. Why? Because for karmas, there can be qualification. For jnana, there is no qualification. There is qualification. But these qualification by birth does not limit you. How? Because the followers of this kind of a system, caste system, we accept us our God, Rama, who was born as a Kshatriya, Krishna was born a Kshatriya, but who was brought up as a Vaishya. And even more, we do Vyasa Puja, Guru Purnima. On Guru Purnima is also referred to as Vyasa Purnima. We perform the puja for Vyasa. The first puja is for Vyasa there. Only after that, all the other gurus are worshipped. So that Vyasa, who we worship, is a Shudra. So a person can be a Brahmin and an ignorant. A person can be a Shudra or anything, can be a knowledgeable person. There can be anything. So how do I limit? How do I understand? The understanding is that I had performed some karmas in the past, good karmas. I have that purity, etc. The understanding is simple. If you are attracted or interested in the knowledge in Vedanta, then you are okay. If you are not interested in knowledge, even if you are born as a Brahmin and you follow these ignorant idiots who call themselves as gurus, hypocrites, then even if you are born a Brahmin, your life is a waste. So that is why he says, mukhyagauṇādibhedena. That fellow is the primary seeker. Satāmabhimato. That is how the sadhus accept. A person with a great purity of heart is who is accepted to be primary seeker by the great people. Because here we have to understand another thing. This states, to gain those qualification, it takes a lot of births. To gain this qualification, it takes a lot of birth, and finally, this kind of stupid idea should not be undertaken, accepted. You should never accept this kind of stupid ideas. Because, like we said, what is the obstacle for samadhi? The fifth question. This is the obstacle. Thinking, I am not eligible. How can I gain that knowledge? This itself is the worst kind of obstacle which a seeker can have. We should never, the moment we see the interest in listening to Vedanta, we have been following Vedanta for so many births. Otherwise, there can be no interest in Vedanta. How can a person who does not understand, who has not even heard of the word Vedanta, be attracted to Vedanta? It's impossible, right? So we have to understand, we should not limit ourselves, put an obstacle by ourselves. Okay, so he says, okay, this is a mukhyādhikāri. What should he do? adhyāropāpavādakramamanusaratā deśikenātra vetrā vākyārthe bodhyamāne sati sapadi śuddhabuddheramuṣya nityānandādvitīyaṃ nirupamamamalaṃ yatparaṃ tattvamekaṃ tadbrahmaivāhamasmītyudayati paramakhanda vṛttihi adhyāropāpavādakramamanusaratā deśikenātra vetrā vākyārthe bodhyamāne sati sapadi sataḥ śuddhabuddheramuṣya nityānandādvitīyaṃ nirupamamamalaṃ tattvamekaṃ tadbrahmaivāhamasmītyudayati paramakhanda. So this disciple, we know who the disciple is, who is the seeker is. What should you do? Just sit and meditate. Nothing. Not that. Then what should you do? He says, adhyāropāpavādakramamanusaratā vetrā deśikena. Deśika, that deśikena. The simple idea is by the guru. Deśikena means, deśika means guru. By the guru. What kind of guru? Vetrā, the knower. One who is a knower. What kind of knower? A person who follows the system of adhyāropāpavādakramamanusaratā. One who follows the system of superimposition and desuperimposition. That is the primary qualification for the teacher. He should follow this superimposition and desuperimposition system. So that is why in Mandukya Upanishad, when we say about the disciple, who is a disciple? Disciple says, Brahmano nirvedamāyāt nāstyakartakatena. Brahmana, he is a Brahmin. And one who understands, one who has nirvedamāyāt, he gains the complete dispassion that you cannot gain the absolute through any karmas. He understands that. Then what does he do? So Guru Meva Vigachet, he should only go to the Guru. What kind of Guru? Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. Sir, Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam Gurum Eva Vigachet. One who is a Shrotriya, one who has studied traditionally, and Brahmanishtam. Brahmanishtam I have explained in two ways. Brahmani nitram tishtati iti Brahmanishta, Brahma eva satyati nishtha Brahmanishta. Meaning a person who has gained immediate knowledge or immediate knowledge of the self. He is the Guru. Now, vetrā, a person who is a knower of this tradition of superimposition and desuperimposition. From that Guru, atra here, vākyārthe bodhyamāne sati. If we are going to hear the meaning of the vākyārtha, the purport of the teaching of the Mahavakyas. Vākyārtha, Vakya means statement. Statement here means the ultimate statement, the supreme statement, which is a Mahavakya, right? So when he is going to initiate into that, when he initiates you into that, in that Mahavakya, the meaning of that Mahavakya, śuddhabuddhehe, amuṣya śuddhabuddhehe. For this fellow, who is this fellow? Śuddhabuddhehe, one who has purity of heart. Śuddha, pure, buddhi, intellect. Pure intellect means purity of heart. Sataḥ, that kind of person being one who has purity of heart. Yad nityānandādvitīyaṃ, which eternal bliss, non-dual eternal bliss. Advitīyaṃ nityānandam, that which is non-dual absolute bliss. Nirupamam, that which is incomparable. There is nothing to compare, so incomparable. Amalam, because in comparability exists only when there is impurity. This is pure. Amalam, malarahitam, pure. Param tattvam, that absolute truth. How many truths? Ekam param tattvam, that one non-dual truth. Tadbrahmaivāham iti asmiti, that Brahman I am. This knowledge. So, ekam eva advitīyaṃ. That ekam eva advitīyaṃ is that statement from the Vedas is said here. Ekam advitīyaṃ first. Then amalam is eva. Alone. Okay. So, asmi. I am that ekam eva advitīyaṃ. I am that absolute self. I am that absolute self. Aham Brahma asmi. Iti paramakhandadākara vritti. This absolute akhandākara vritti udayati, takes place. It does not take place. Okay, I hear now. Like sometimes you hear a joke and you process it and you understand later. Not like that. He says, sapadi udayati. Sapadi means immediately. The knowledge takes place. That knowledge takes place immediately. We don't have to wait for that. We don't have to perform some karmas after that. So that question is answered. You hear that from the Guru. If you are ready, you are going to understand it immediately. You don't have to wait for anything. You don't have to do anything. Sapadi, immediately, at that very moment, that knowledge takes place. Okay, you see this. Om Purnamadaḥ Purnamidam Purnāt Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.